I'm a believer that this team's going to win the national championship, the season of dreams.
So JUCK over with Menace to Sports.
And if we allow them to devalue it, we lose a lot of what makes college football special. Don't let them do it. Don't let them devalue what it means to you. The Ohio State Buckeyes, the 2024 national champs, will be remembered for how they came out of that. And welcome into JUCK on Bucks for a Friday evening emergency pod. We've got some player announcements. Who's coming? Who's going? We got transfer portal. We got NFL decisions. Let's start there. NFL decisions. Somebody asked me the other day, who do I think is going to be the Block O next year? We know Cody Simon wore the Block O, the Bill Willis Block O Award. And I think that is going to be Sonny Styles, who is going to be back with the team. Sonny, not entering the NFL draft. He's coming back to start at linebacker and lead this defense next year. And I definitely think he's going to wear that Block O. Local kid, could have gone to the NFL, comes back, switch positions. He's a team first guy, won the Iron Buckeye, and that probably just 10 guys won that last year. He does everything right. Constantly praised Cody for teaching him and working with him. He's a leader, leads by example, and he's a guy everybody looks up to. That's our Iron Buckeye. He's coming back. That's my guess. Now, at corner, Davison Igbinosun had a decision. What was Davison going to do? Go to the NFL, potentially be a third-round pick, maybe work his way in the second round? Don't know. He's decided to come back. So he's somebody that frustrates the hell out of us at times, for sure. Gets a lot of penalties called on him, but he's got an attitude, never quits, talks his stuff, and that really gets under people's skins. As we saw at Oregon when Trayshawn Holden spit on him. But a really talented dude, and it would have sucked to lose him, honestly. Now, Jermaine Matthews, we haven't heard his decision yet. Right now, that would be the starting two, IGB and Jermaine Matthews. But Jermaine Matthews trying to work a deal here, so we don't know what he's going to do, if he's going to enter the portal or not. We do know that Jeremiah Smith is not entering the portal. A report broke earlier this morning from On3's Pete Nakos that Jeremiah Smith was offered $4.5 million this year, the upcoming year, to go somewhere else. And Carnell Tate was offered $1 million to go somewhere else. Now, Jeremiah Smith, their former coach at South Florida Express, their 7-on-7 team down there in Florida that Carnell, Jeremiah, and Brandon Innes all played for, he tweeted at somebody earlier today that that family's too loyal, saying JJ would never leave. And JJ tweeted on top of that 100. So JJ kind of put minds at ease. And I think we all would agree that Ohio State would do whatever it took not to keep him around. Like, even if it cost you losing other guys on the team, you're paying Jeremiah. So not really an issue there. The issue was, does paying Jeremiah not leave you room in the budget to pay Carnell Tate? Was Carnell Tate going to leave? And it's been announced that Carnell Tate is not going to leave. Carnell Tate staying on the roster, which is big news. We'll talk about the tampering in a second. So Carnell Tate stays. Jeremiah Smith stays. IGB, Sonny Styles coming back. Now, Hero Kanu has entered the transfer portal. And Hero Kanu is an awesome dude. I thought he was going to have a bigger role this year. He didn't play so great in some spots, played a little better at the end of the year. Dude from Germany, my son's buddy. He's just an awesome kid. And I hate this because when we look at guys like Gabe Powers, who signed with Kansas State, by the way, I haven't covered that on the show. Gabe Powers at linebacker, Calvin Simpson-Hunt at corner, Hero Kanu at now at defensive line. These are guys at all three levels on the defense, highly rated 4-star guys that would have been otherwise in any other era excellent depth pieces that you can keep on your roster, who know the system, can contribute, and potentially start at some point in their career. And now we've got these kind of guys leaving. And that's the kind of thing they're talking about when they're saying that the death of the super team. The Ohio State roster of 2024 will never see another one like it. They're talking about that kind of stuff right there. And those losses hurt, not immediately, but you feel them at some point. So that stinks. I hate seeing him go. But when we look at our projected starting lineup next year, you moved Edric Houston inside. When you did that, you basically told Hero Canoe and Jason Moore, who were already playing behind Caden McDonald, that Edric and Caden were the two dudes inside. So who do you got as reserves? You got Tywan Malone. You got Will Smith Jr. I think Dominic Kirks is going to end up moving down inside. And you got Jason Moore, who's not into the portal yet. Jason Moore arguably probably has a higher upside than Hero. I think probably for sure has a higher upside than Hero. But, you know, you never know how those two are going to develop. It's just a bummer. So far, when we want to go over the transfer portal losses that the Buckeyes have had, let's pull that up here. All right, so we are losing Hero Canoe. That is impactful in the long run. Calvin Simpson Hunt, that is impactful in the long run. And the third biggest loss on here to me is Gabe Powers. Those are three guys that I think were at some point they would have played in eras past. You know, those would be losses. When we look at Ballard, not really a loss. I mean, I hate to say it like that, but it's not. Kojo, not really a loss. Devin Brown, obviously Devin's a great Buckeye, but I don't think anybody thinks he was ever going to start here. Miles Walker, who is signed with Boise, good for him. Aaron Noland has signed with South Carolina. Jaden Bonsu was kind of superseded by Jalen McClain. Saw the writing on the wall. He'll go to Pitt. I think he's a really good player. Zen Mahalski and George Fitzpatrick, two linemen, along with Miles Walker, who, if they ever had to start for Ohio State, you were kind of in a pickle. That's not something you wanted to see, but you never like to lose depth on your offensive line. So you've lost three. Patrick Gerd was a great story. Played this year, played in the national championship game, and good for him. He was a walk-on. Dad was a Buckeye. Earned himself a scholarship from a walk-on to a scholarship player. Awesome story. Wish him well wherever he goes. Mitchell Melton was going to be a contributor this year, upcoming year. He was a contributor this year, so that sucks. Sam Williams-Dixon, a local running back who we got different opinions on him. I'll just keep my mouth shut. Calvin Simpson Hunt, that's a big one. Calvin Simpson Hunt was a guy who was a high-end corner and the type of guy who, again, you could have on your roster, could have eventually started at some point in his career, but no longer does that type of guy wait their turn. So Calvin Simpson Hunt, Hero Canoe, Gabe Powers, those are losses, man. That sucks. And Mitchell Melton. All right, so we're done with the players. Jim Knowles. Jim Knowles has been offered $3.2 million by Penn State, $3 million by Oklahoma. He makes $2.2 at Ohio State as already the third highest paid assistant in the country. Ball's in the Buckeyes' court here, unless he really wants to move. They can match the offer and keep him, or looks like he's going to walk. I don't know. That's all I can say. All right. So now don't take this as fact, but I have read some things today that said Jim Knowles got offered $3.2 million to coach at Penn State, $3 million to coach at Oklahoma, and Ohio State doesn't want to lose him, so they will match. Heard all that today. I find this situation to be bizarre. He makes $2.2 million right now, the third highest paid assistant in the country. Obviously, Penn State, Oklahoma, they know they're going to have to really juice that up to get him. But I'm just thinking, like, over $3 million for a coordinator is where we're at now. And I remember when we were just having this conversation, it feels like just a couple of years ago, are assistant coaches really worth $1 million? Does college football want to get into paying assistants $1 million a year? Now we're talking about 3.2. It's something. Hey, good for him. I'm not worried about the money. If Ohio State wants to keep him, they'll match the money. They got plenty of money. What worries me is what led to all this. Is it him looking for money? Which, if he is, I'm fine with it. Or is there different issues going on? I don't know. There's rumor out there. There's rumor out there, as we know. But, we'll see. So we're in wait and see mode with that. I would venture to guess by Monday or Tuesday at the latest, we're going to know what he decides. So I'll keep you posted on any other players that enter the transfer portal or don't. Guys that are thought to maybe, but I do want to say that the era we're living in, I think in a couple of years, we're going to look back after there are some kind of rules and regulations that are actually being enforced and laugh at what we've just gone through. Because right now, having to pretend this fake pretend game we play here, where tampering is supposedly illegal, yet Jeremiah Smith has a $4.5 million offer, Carnell Tate has a $1 million offer, and nobody seems to care. It blows my mind. But I will say that Oregon and Texas are the ones who were tampering with Carnell Tate, and Oregon coming in and Texas coming in, trying to poach the roster of the team that just wiped them out of the playoffs en route to a national championship is pretty funny, and it looks really soft on their part. But that's where we're at in college football these days. Ryan Day on the Dan Patrick Show said this morning something about the enforcement arm. I'll play that now.
You just, you know some of the stories of some of the things that have gone on just, within the last couple of years or even in the past, but enforcement is really strained right now. And so until we start enforcing some of these rules, like you said, I mean, people can just call someone's agents or someone's parents and offer them a certain amount of money, and then it goes from there. And that's just part of it. I mean, there's so many other things that come in place. So that's one of the things to me that I think we've got to get addressed in college sports and college football is enforcement, because right now there's virtually none.
Be more right. It's a joke, man. It's an absolute joke. But that's where we're at. Talk to you guys soon. Juck on Bucks out. Hey, it's Juck.
Juck? Who is Juck?
Juck on Bucks.
Juck on Bucks. Juck on Bucks?
Juck.
Juck.
Juck. Juck on Bucks.
My guy, Juck.
Juck on Bucks.
My buddy, Juck.
Juck is the Juck.
It's Juck on Bucks.
Okay.
Juck is junk.
The Juck eyes. The Juck eyes.
Juck on Bucks.
Junk. Juck. Not junk. Juck.